Hello, I'm David Morgan with you from the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, January 2017. Across from me, Jim McDonald, Kootenai Silver. And Jim, before we get started, happy shareholder here. So why don't you, for the people that don't know you, just give a brief background about you and Kootenai Silver.
Yeah, all right. So Kootenai Silver is a silver exploration / development company focused in Mexico. We've got two aspects of the company where we have two real good resources in Mexico. Actually three, one doesn't have a calculation on it yet. We've got a carried to production deal with Pan American Silver, one of the major silver producers in the world. And then we've got a thing called La Cigarra that we purchased last year about this time, also in northern Mexico with about 65 million ounces of silver. All told and calculated resource numbers, we have 140 silver equivalent ounces, measured indicated category. Pure silver is about 90 million in those two projects. I'm a geologist. My background myself is geologist. I got into the business side of the exploration industry way back in 1988 and have been starting up companies ever since. One of the most notable deals I ever did was a thing called National Gold, where we bought the Mulatos deposit from Placer Dome and Kennecott at a period much like today at the bottom of the precious metal market. And we joined forces with Alamos Minerals, forming Alamos Gold. And when we completed the amalgamation, we were $35 million market cap, built that project into a mine as the metal price came up, and turned it into a $2 billion company.
Very good. Well,
yeah.
I like that story. So you have a lot going for the company. Let's talk about the finances right now as far as not only where you see the metals prices going, but more importantly, what's the treasury look like, burn rate, and what are the plans for this year, 2017?
Yeah, all right. So we've got $6 million in cash, so we're good, strong treasury. We've got a program laid out that's going to bring us to the end of the year where we want to be as having a new resource calculation out on the La Cigarra deposit, which we own 100% of, and be entering into a preliminary economic assessment at that point. And then on the other side, Pan American has got a good strong budget for the Promontorio project. We'll be focusing on La Negra and some peripheral targets there as well. So our burn rate's variable, around 200,000, 250,000 a month, and it ramps up when you're actively drilling.
Very good. So, I mean, I like the fact that you're diversified. You've got three projects, as you say, and you also have something unique which kind of grabbed my attention. That's this technology. I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce it, so I'll let you pronounce it. But why don't you tell us a little about this recovery technology that you have?
Yeah, we recently put out some results on a process called Silvox. Silvox is a leach technology using industry standard process, but with a twist. So just by changing that process slightly, it has proven to show that you can significantly increase the silver recovery. And so what it means for us at the La Cigarra deposit, where we have this large silver resource, 52 million ounces measured indicated, another 11.5 million in the inferred, it's currently viewed as a sulfide deposit where we produce a concentrate, sell it to a smelter. Well, that costs a lot more money to build, and then it's more money to operate that type of a deposit. However, we have about 25 to 30% of that deposit's in an oxide layer, and what the Silvox shows us is that with the improved recovery this new technology is giving us, we've got potential here to start the mine as a heap leach open pit operation. Much lower capital cost, much lower operating cost, so it lowers that threshold. So it means that this thing could become quite economic at a much lower silver price, which we've yet to determine in the purpose of us bringing this project forward to a preliminary economic assessment is to measure all that.
Makes me smile. I think if I could back you up slightly, recoveries in gold have always been fairly strong, but silver's been hard. I mean, your recovery rates in silver are much lower than gold. Can you just give us a little background on that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Heap leach gold typically works very well. Silver is notoriously bad. There's a few projects where it worked well, but generally silver is notoriously bad. So the using just a standard leach technology testing, for example, this bulk sample we tested returned 38%. Using the Silvox on 4 different samples, so 4 different sort of concentrations of different chemicals, we increased that silver recovery by 6 to 14%. Further, we ran a column test at the same time, showing upwards of 58%. So that's a big bump.
Huge. And
with those kind of recoveries and the types of grades we have at La Ciguera, all right, it's starting to look very, very interesting.
In business. Yeah, great. Well, we covered the people, we covered the projects, we covered the finances. Everything lines up in my book. I mean, as a shareholder, continue on. So if you don't mind, I'd kind of like to wrap it up. I'm sure there's more to say. So is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like our viewers to know about?
Well, I think we've covered all the high points. I think we're going to have a very strong year. We've been doing a lot of work since we acquired the La Ciguera deposit. In the last 6 months, we've been picking that deposit apart, working on a new resource model effectively. And what we think is possible here is that grade will bump up that we have, which will impact the economics again. Add the new Silvox process to it, and now we've got a real sort of multiplier to the potential of this project. So I think at the end of this year, and given where we think we are in the silver cycle, going up that is, this project we believe is going to be very, very strong.
Well, your leverage to silver, obviously, I mean, I'll throw in my 2 cents. I think we're going to see over $20 silver this year, and I think that's an easy accomplishment. But, the markets know more than me, I've always said. Why don't you give out the website, contact points, any way that people that are viewing this can get a hold of the company?
Sure. Kootenay Silver, www.kootenaysilver.com is the website. KTN is the symbol on the Toronto Venture Exchange.
Very good. Jim, it's always a pleasure. Continued success.
Thank you, David.